Jake Ring. Batting second, the designated hitter, Tino Torres, who's batting for the pitcher, number 44, Jake Trumpus. Batting third for the Bulldogs, the right fielder, number 24, Jared Elman. Batting cleanup, first baseman, number 34, Brent Spohr. Batting fifth, catcher, number 15, Simeon Lucas. Batting sixth, the third baseman, number 32, Tyler Gorski. Batting seventh, second baseman, number 11, Jacob Adams. Batting eighth, shortstop, number 22, Eddie Kuziak. And batting ninth, left fielder, number 14, Ryan Noda. And the rest of the Bulldogs and their coaches. For the home team, the Indians of Minooka, who indicated with a record of 27 wins and 14 losses, please meet head coach Jeff Petrovic, who has a career record of 255 wins and 86 losses over 9 years. Here's the starting lineup for the Indians. Leading off, in playing center field, number 5, Alex Bivar. Playing shortstop, number 1, Tyler Thorson. Batting third, number 12, catcher TJ Condon. Batting cleanup for the Indians, first baseman, number 27, Max Rozovic. Next up, number 7, right fielder, Carson Nusswander. Batting sixth for the Indians, number 3, second baseman, Nick Lashaw. Batting eighth, third baseman, number 35, Joe Carnaggio. In the 8th spot, number 22, the DH, Austin Polson. Who's batting for number 11, the pitcher, Kevin Rupp. And finally, left fielder, number 19, Nick White. And the rest of the Indians and their coaches. The umpires for today's game. Behind the plate, Dan Marshall from Oklahoma. At first base, Bob Kokas from Elmhurst. And at third base, Bob Jenkins from Wheaton. Lay it off!
Two teams that were victimized by the West Suburban Silver Conference will meet today in your Class 4A third place game as Minooka takes on Grant. Hi again, everybody. Dave Bernhardt with you along with state championship coach and Hall of Famer Mark Lindell. Today's third place matchup, the Grant Bulldogs at 25-12, Minooka Indians at 27-14, both picking up losses yesterday. Grant fell to Oak Park River Forest in the semifinals, 8-2. On the other side, Minooka dropped a 6-2 decision to Lyons Township. Of course, Oak Park River Forest and Lyons, members of that West Suburban Silver, and they will play for the state championship coming up in a little bit. But Mark, in both those ball games, it was a matter of you better not fall behind, because Grant fell behind Oak Park River Forest 5-0. On the other side, Minooka found themselves down early 4-1.
Well, two good pitching performances against these two teams. McCune with a great win for Oak Park, and then Lehman with a great win for Lyons. So both these offenses were stymied for the most part. Chance to get back out in the sun today, try to pick up some hardware, which they will indeed do, and finish on a high note. Want to play some good baseball before they leave Joliet here this afternoon.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First of all, for the Grant Bulldogs, they'll be the visiting team today with that 25-12 record. Jake Rain to lead things off. He's the center fielder. The designated hitter, Tino Torres, bats second, and he is hitting for today's pitcher, Jake Trumpus. Jared Helmick Right fielder bats third. Brent Spohr, the cleanup spot, the first baseman. Catcher Simeon Lucas hits fifth. Tyler Gorski, the sixth place hitter, is at third base today. Jacob Adams, the second baseman, hits seventh. Batting eighth, it'll be Eddie Kuziak, the shortstop. And Ryan Noda will bat ninth and play left field. And on the mound for Minooka, well, the last time he took the mound, it was a very, very special game. That's Kevin Ruff.
Kevin Ruff is 8-5 on the season, a 2.21 earned run average, 72 strikeouts in 76 innings pitched. He's walked just 23, given up 67 hits. This is his 16th game of the season. He'll be playing ball at Benedictine, but he can't do any better than last time. He was perfecto against O'Fallon.
That was a 9-0 whitewash and the most complete game that any team really could have played. Kevin Ruff, the perfect game, 21 up, 21 down in the super sectional that got his team here to Joliet. Leading off here to start this third place game will be Jake Ring. First pitch delivered by Ruff comes straight up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Earlier on today we crowned a state champion in Class 3A. That was Marion Catholic, 10-2 winners over LaSalle, Peru. And earlier on this morning, very early this morning, Nazareth Academy defeated Triad 2-1 to take third place in Class 3A. Kevin Ruff, that big right-hand straight overhand delivery. To that defense here for Minooka right after this pitch. Ring will look at it all the way, and that's a quick walk. Defensively for Minooka, Nick White's in left, Alex Bebar in center, Carson Neuschwander is the right fielder. Third baseman is Joe Carnaggio, Tyler Thorson's at short, Nick Fleschauer is the second baseman, Matt Brozovic at first, TJ Condon behind the plate, as we mentioned, Kevin Ruff on the mound.
Ring had 2 walks in the leadoff spot last night, 1 today, now leading things off, so a good table setter. 28 stolen bases on the year, a definite threat to run as he can create some situations for a defense on the field.
Well, it didn't take long for Kevin Ruff to put any thoughts of back-to-back perfect games out of everyone's mind here. And that just goes to show you how amazing it is for any pitcher at any level to throw a perfect game. Here's a walk, and that's it.
Yeah, and that's a very solid O'Fallon team they defeated. And not only did Ruff throw the perfect game, but Minooka felt they played almost a perfect game along with his gem on the hill.
Tino Torres, the designated hitter at the plate, pulls back in a bunt, and he'll take it for a strike. Torres 2 for 4 in the loss yesterday to Oak Park River Forest in semis. He knocked in a run on the season. Torres, a sophomore, 291 hitter. 11 runs batted in, just 4 extra bases, hitting out of the second spot in the order.
Ruff, that was more of an obligatory throw over to first. He'll have better feet than that. Ring will challenge those feet at some point.
Torres had a double clutch on that pitch from Ruff, who's been called by his coach Jeff Petrovic as kind of the forgotten man. Of course, the number 1 pitcher this season for Minooka didn't have a great success yesterday. Josh Jimenez, Ruff kind of pitched in his shadow this year. Hard ground ball to Thorson at short, chance for 2. To Fleschauer 1. Relay to first to Brozovic. Just like that, 6-4-3, 2 gone.
That was tailor-made right at the shortstop. And Thorson is as good as you can be with that. He knew he had plenty of time. See the nice feed underhand, cross the base, and squaring up with some authority. Well executed double play by Minooka's Indians.
Jared Helmick, number 3 hitter in the lineup, had a hit in 3 at-bats yesterday. 3 of the 6 hits for Grant came between Torres and Helmick. The other 3 from Simeon Lucas. Helmick yesterday, 6 innings pitched. He allowed 9 hits, 8 runs, 5 of which were earned. Struck out 4, walked 3. Picked up the loss to drop to 11-2 on the season. season at the plate. Helmick, .374 average. 39 runs batted in, 6 extra base hits. And did he go? He did. So after the leadoff walk, knocked down a double play, given a strikeout, and in effect, up and down in order, go the Bulldogs. So bottom of the first we go here in your Class 4A third place game. Minooka gets their shot. Minooka, the Indians, 27-14 on the season. Their starting lineup here in this third place game. Center fielder Alex Bebar will lead it off. He'll be followed by Tyler Thorson, the shortstop. TJ Condon, the catcher, hits third. Matt Brozovic over at first base, hitting in the cleanup spot. Carson Neuschwander, the right fielder, bats fifth. Hitting sixth, the second baseman, Nick Fleschauer. Joe Carnarzio, the third baseman, bats seventh. Austin Paulson will be doing the hitting today for pitcher Kevin Ruff, and batting in the eighth spot, number 9, it'll be Nick White, the left fielder, and they will get their first shot. Number 44, Jake Trumpus.
Trumpus, a 5'9", 175-pound junior, 7-2 on the baseball season. 42 innings pitched for the Indians, a 417 earned run average, 4.17, 25 strikeouts, 15 base on balls on the season. He's allowed 53 hits in those 42 innings, so you would expect the ball to be put in play, and you expect the defense to be challenged.
Alex Bebar, left-handed hitting leadoff man, will step in. He had a hit and a run scored in the loss, the 6-2 loss to defending state champ Lions yesterday. Trumpus, an interesting story in that he's starting here in your third place game, but was not a starter until 3 weeks into the season. They just pitched Trumpus in non-conference games, and lo and behold, he has developed to this extent.
You know, it's always nice to see something like that occur, because players, fans sometimes think that lineups are predetermined going to season. You get an opportunity to pitch in relief, you pitch well. You get an opportunity to pitch some non-conference games, you pitch well. You're inserted into the conference games, you pitch well, and all of a sudden, you're part of the state tournament rotation. Opportunities to pitch, opportunities to hit, opportunities to play, those are all earned.
Now you can look great in the gym or the field house, and you really may not know, but then all of a sudden you get out in the field, and all of a sudden you start getting guys out, and hey, we may have something here. Well, the bottom half of this first inning starts out exactly the way the top half did, and that's with the leadoff walk, and that will bring us to Tyler Thorson, shortstop for the Indians. Wears the black number 1 behind his orange jersey, the 5'9" senior with the .316 batting average. Bebar with good speed down at first base. There's Jeff Petrovic, the head coach for Minooka in his 9th year, 255 wins and 86 losses. Petrovic in his 9 years averaged 28 wins per year. Tough toss, unable to handle it. It's the first baseman, Brad Spohr. So Brad Spohr kind of fooled by that toss from the catcher, or from the pitcher Trumpus.
That'll definitely go as an error, and I don't think you have any choice but to give it to Spohr. You're right, Trumpus didn't give him much of a look on the baseball. It was hit until the last possible second, but it did hit the glove of Spohr. He had it, bobbled it, came out, and Thorson is on safely, and the Indians have something going.
Brings us to TJ Condon, third place hitter, the catcher, as that ball breaks outside to Condon. Condon, .339 hitter on the season, 6 doubles, 3 home runs, driven in 26 runs in his 109 at-bats. Yesterday, Condon had a hit in 3 official plate appearances. This off the end of the bat, but it'll be enough to get this center fielder ring, and nobody will advance. First out of the inning will take us to the cleanup hitter, Matt Brozovic. Brozovic, 6'2", 190-pound junior, .359 average, 11 doubles and 2 home runs. Brozovic, a strikeout in 3 at-bats yesterday. Waits and fouls it off. This could stay in play. tough play for Tyler Gorski, unable to handle it, and doing a little leap is Ryan Noda over Gorski.
That looked like some barrel jumping out there. Gorski ain't chased. Noda had to leap over him, did a flip, and ended up right in front of the tarpaulin down there on the third base line.
Barrel jumping. I was thinking Jesse White tumblers. Barrel jumping. A lot of folks don't know barrel jumping. That's a wide world of sports. That's a wide world of sports classic. Just becomes a strike, though, for Brozovic. Lucas able to smother it and keep it near home plate, and everybody stays where they are. Defensively for Grant, as we said, Ryan Noda's in left, Jake Ring in center, and Jared Helmick in right. Tyler Gorski, the third baseman, Eddie Kuziak at short, Jacob Adams at second, Brent Spohr, the first baseman, Simeon Lucas behind the plate, and Jake Trumpus delivered to Brozovic for a strike.
Two-seam there. That ball ran away from the left-handed hitter, so Trumpus with some movement, able to change speeds rather effectively. That was a two-seam fastball. I believe that he kept on the outer edge and ran away.
Brozovic behind the third base dugout, but it's coming back, but it gets right up against the screen. We had a great angle to see that. For every catcher out there, that ball will come back into play. That ball looked out of play by about 3 rows in and just kept drifting back in. A good job by Lucas to stay with it.
Yeah, the ball has spin, which will bring it back to the field, along with the wind that is now pushing straight out from home plate toward left field.
Brozovic sharply hit to the first baseman. They're going to look to turn 2 or at least get the force out there. Nice job by Spohr to get it to the shortstop, Eddie Kuziak. They get the lead runner, one of the 2 lead runners, as advancing to third is Bibar.
We've talked about it throughout the tournament. We've seen some excellent first base play. We've seen scoops in the dirt. We've seen some tough pop-ups caught. We've seen some pickoffs where the first baseman has been able to show off his arm a little bit. And we've seen some 3-6 force outs with the first baseman able to show his arm off. So a lot of teams have some first base athletes playing for them this weekend in Joliet.
Carson Neuschwander looks to get his team on the board. Runners first and third with 2 out. Neuschwander, the long look down at third. 0 for 3 in the semifinals. Neuschwander, a .364 hitter with 25 runs batted in this season. Small crowd here for the third place game. Trumpus delivers, and this will be well out of play. Up over the top.
Minooka was in the third base dugout last night as well, and they had easily in excess of, I would say, 1,300 to 1,500 people. Tonight, maybe about, or this afternoon, maybe 150, 200. So that's the difference between playing for a championship and playing for a third place position. But what a great turnout their community had last night.
Neuschwander will go down swinging as the runner at first, Brozovic, was breaking, but Trumpus will get out of it. Leadoff walk is stranded at third, and we'll go to the second. No score here in your third place game, Class 4A. 87 degrees, the wind blowing out at about 8 miles per hour here in Joliet, straight out to center field as we start the second inning with the cleanup batter for the Grant Bulldogs, Brent Spohr, to lead it off. Kevin Ruff delivers, misses on the first one. Spohr 0 for 3 yesterday's semifinal. Ruff powers that fastball in there.
With the heat and with the wind, any ball that goes airborne is going to carry big time here this afternoon.
Foul territory with room. Brozovic over, fights the sun, makes the catch. One gone to Simeon Lucas. Better day Lucas had yesterday. 3 for 3, including 2 doubles.
Just a sophomore, one of the bright prospects at his position, a catcher that you can imagine, a guy that throws the ball well, a guy that hits, a guy that swings from the left side. He's a total package, and they know what a good pitcher he could be as well, but they don't want to get him from behind the plate. They want to keep him there as much as they can.
396 hitters jammed by Ruff. Fleschauer over to Brozovic for the second out. Nice pitch there by Kevin Ruff.
Well, we just talked about the conditions. It's all about location all the time, but today location has to be down. You have to throw ground balls today to give your team a chance to stay in the ball game, make plays defensively, and keep the ball out of the air where there could be some wind-blown balls hit the gap or over gaps today.
Tyler Gorski, a 5'10 junior, 307 batting average. Kind of backed away from that inside pitch. It may have been his third base coach, Brian Talbot, that said, wear it. We'll look at that one. An interesting arrangement here for Grant. Their head coach, Dave Beam, coaches first base. One of the very, very few times you'll see a head coach in a first base box, and his reason for doing it is probably about threefold. One, he said he has complete trust in his third base coach, Brian Talbot, who spends his time working with the hitters. As you get a look right there at Dave Beam, but the other side, Dave admits, he said, I call the pitches, and of course he's in charge of all the substitutions. He said, coaching third base, just one less thing I have to worry about.
That's a good way to look at it. But you know what? Again, you have to trust your staff. You have to give responsibility to your staff. You have to develop your staff. And you have to take some of the burden off yourself. If you do all those things, that's what a good CEO would do. That's what a good head coach should do.
And the other part of that is Gorski gets on with the 2-out walk, bringing up Jacob Adams. The other thing is, if you're going to talk to a base runner, you're going to get a lot more action down there at first base. And third base, of course, a crucial spot, but you want to fill in on somebody, just to remind them, hey, we need you to go first to third here on a ball in the gap. That's the place to be. Ball and a strike now to Jacob Adams. Adams, a 5'7", 165-pound junior, 263 hitter. He, as well as the whole bottom part of this order for Grant yesterday, hitless.
Two outs. Normally a time you'd like to put somebody in motion, but a very small lead by Gorski. Let's see if he extends with 2 strikes. Still very small lead.
This is a spinner. Look at that bounce on its way to Ruff. He'll pick it up and throw over to first. He watched that ball just bounce back and forth to him, but the 2-out walk stays at first. We're scoreless through an inning and a half here in Joliet.
I'm an official because I can be part of the game, not just a spectator. I'm involved.
I'm a mentor to the kids, and so they learn the game and respect the game. I've enhanced my leadership skills.
I'm more disciplined.
Bottom of the second for the Indians. Second baseman, number 3, Nick.
It is the most dangerous seat in the house. Better not lean forward. It's a long way down that building beyond foul territory in the right field side here at Silver Cross Field, the home of the Joliet Slammers, members of the Independent Frontier League.
So what indeed is the history or the significance of those 11 out there?
This ball's lost in the sun. Jared Helmick just had no chance at it whatsoever. Jacob Adams and Brent Spohr just stood by, and nothing they could do. Very helpless feeling. No, I do not know the answer to your question. I think I heard the story at one point what that was, but I don't know right now.
I thought you were a historian here in the Joliet.
You've got the wrong guy. You've got the wrong guy. No, I live in the present. How's that?
Here I thought one of those guys was you hanging up there.
Nick Fleschauer reaches on that single to right field. That'll bring up Joe Carnaggio. Carnaggio looking at that first pitch all the way.
This is our 7th game of the weekend. We've been in bright, high sky both days, and that's really the first time that you could tell from the get-go, Helmick didn't have a clue that he was going to make that catch. He just never picked up the flight of the ball. He picked up sunshine immediately when the ball went airborne.
You know, I looked at that, I think back to that play now that you say that. I wonder if he never saw it and he just saw his second baseman, first baseman coming out and he figured, okay, it has to be somewhere in the vicinity here. Would have been a tough play for either the second baseman Adams or the first baseman Spoor. They would have been running with their back to the infield. Ball and a strike, third baseman Tyler Gorski in tight, expecting a bunt. There goes the runner. Throw down. Got him. Simeon Lucas to Jacob Adams. They catch Fleschauer on the steal attempt.
What a release by Simeon Lucas, the sophomore. In the tournament before yesterday, there had been 0 stolen bases against Grant. Simeon Lucas had thrown out 2 would-be base stealers in those games. Now, yesterday there were a couple stolen bases, but honestly, it was on the pitcher, not against Lucas. What a great release as he got there. Solid tag by Adams.
Lucas, just a sophomore. Well, the first out of the inning recorded on the bases. Carnaggio, the count 2-2 with him.
6'2", 190. He's going to project 6'4", 210, 215. Definitely a prospect with the kind of hose he just showed off there. His ability to swing from the left side, runs well, very athletic, and yes, that man Trumpus gave him a chance with a pretty good delivery to home plate.
Full count pitch. So Lucas takes one base runner away as Trumpus will now put another one on. His second walk of the day comes with one out and will bring us to Austin Paulson, designated hitter, batting for Kevin Ruff, the pitcher.
Number 22, Austin.
Carnaggio gets on to first with a walk, and he jumps out to a big lead out there.
You know, it's a really interesting dynamic for you and I, Dave, to do all 4 games on the Saturday, because on Saturday morning, it's 9 a.m., it's relaxed, the ballpark is relaxed, the 2 teams are relaxed, and we kind of go through, you know, a Saturday morning scrimmage almost, although they're playing competitively. Then, you know, the energy builds to crescendo with a state title game, and then this is much more relaxed atmosphere again because of the third place game. The crowds aren't as big, what have you, and then the build-up will take place over the next couple hours once again. So we see the full gamut of emotions.
Paulson will lift this to center. Ring does not have to move much. 2 outs to Nick White. White, the senior, batting in the 9th spot, a 203 hitter, 0 for 2 yesterday. Did have a run batted in, though.
Neither of these teams was in the top 25 of the state rankings to end the season, yet each of them is in the Final 4 of big school baseball, 4A baseball.
This off the fist, but it'll be enough to get out there to left field. Base hit by White. That pushes Carnaggio to second. 2 hits and a walk this inning. We'll go to the top of the order, and Alex Bebar.
Center fielder, Alex Bebar.
Bebar with 12 runs batted in, make that 13 runs batted in this year. Runner in scoring position in the form of Joe Carnaggio. Bebar right off the fist. Third baseman, look out! Nicely done, Tyler Gorski. Boy, that was a tough one. He had to keep going full speed. He couldn't put on the brakes. The brakes were the railing. So the defensive gem will get Grant out of the inning. 2 hits and a walk and nothing through 2, scoreless. Third place, 4A, Minooka and Grant. Looking at Silver Cross Field, the home of the boys 3A and 4A state baseball finals. Marian Catholic claiming the Class 3A title a few hours ago. 10-2 victory over LaSalle, Peru. First appearance ever for Marian Catholic, and they bring home the big trophy. Here in the top of the third, in the third place game in 4A, Eddie Kuziak leading it off.
Marian Catholic was 18 and 17 coming to the tournament 2.5 weeks later. They're state champions. How about that?
An amazing story. This pitch is fouled away and out of play. Ooh, just in front of some folks who are trying to hide in the shade. The sun's kind of cheating on them a little bit, though.
Yeah, there's some definite sunshine. The ball being chased down. Good looking picture of Kuziak. Slick fielding shortstop for Grant.
Good pitch by Ruff. His second strikeout.
Grant playing for the second consecutive day without Jordan Villarreal, an infielder who hit .423 on the year, 32 RBIs, 43 runs scored, was injured on Monday and did not play in this tournament.
Ryan Noda, the ninth place hitter for Grant, showed a bunt, but an inside pitch took him out of that thought process pretty quickly. Again, he has that little wiggle up there.
Tell you what, though, you go down Grant's, you throw Villarreal in there, and you go down their batting order, an awful lot of young players. The Bulldogs are going to return an awful lot of bite next year. That'll start on Monday with summer baseball, continue through fall, winter, spring conditioning into next season, where they will be projected next year as one of the elite teams to start the season.
Noda, the sophomore at the plate. Good fastball at 84 miles per hour from Kevin Ruff. Ruff, 6 foot, 170-pound senior, working quickly now. Takes a nice hop right up into the glove of Brozovic for the second out. Well, Jared Helmick said as much. He said he thought this year, he thought this team would be good, his Grant Bulldogs team. He said, I thought we'd be good, but I didn't expect to be this good. And a lot of times that's the case when you go into the season with a fairly young team, and all of a sudden those good young players really develop quicker than you might expect. Jake Ring walked in the first inning. He's back up there now as we come back to the top of the order for the Bulldogs.
Helmick, of course, pitched yesterday, 11 wins on the season, 17 on his career, so a very solid pitcher is he.
Nick White ran right into the bullpen mound. He made a long run, and that really is a very, very tough play for a left fielder. Full speed, your eyes are in the air, and all of a sudden that mound just jumps up and bites you.
Yeah, and you don't get the feeling of the warning track underneath you till the last second, because it's where grass meets bullpen, so you're going full speed. Normally, if you have that warning track area, you start to shorten your steps, knowing that you now are in danger. That's why it's so appropriately called warning track, but that was grass, meat, and dirt, and then the lack of loss of footing.
And the outside corner, a ball and 2 strikes. Rough had Ring ahead of that one. Interesting road for Grant. They defeated McHenry 5-3 and Cary Grove 4-2 in the McHenry Regional. Ring sharply hit. Ooh, nice snag there by Fleschauer. He gets over to first. A 1-2-3 inning. 4 straight retired by Kevin Ruff. To the bottom of the third we go. Scoreless here in Joliet. Minooka, the home team in this third place game. They do have 2 hits. We go to the bottom of the third inning. It'll be Tyler Thorson, TJ Condon, and Matt Brozovic, 2, 3, and 4 here to face Jake Trumpus. I was talking about the road for Grant to get to Joliet. Got through their regional, but then the interesting situation started happening in sectional semis. In the win against Crystal Lake South, that ball game ended on a triple play. It was a line drive off pitcher's foot up to his glove, threw to first base for the second out, and the runner at second was a little bit confused by all the ricocheting with the ball, so throw goes to second base, triple play, game over. You advance to the sectional championship game against South Elgin. Count 1-1 now to Thorson. Ball just a bit tight. And in that sectional championship game, it took a 2-out, 2-run RBI walk-off single by Tyler Gorski on a 9-pitch at bat. That gave the win to Grant. They had trailed it 9-4 at one point. And in that game, which eventually was won by Grant by a 12-11 score, there were 34 hits combined between the two teams.
So along the tournament trail, it's basically whatever it takes, whether it's a triple play, whether it's a well-pitched game, whether it's a game where there's a barrage of hits, it's all about advance and survive, and Grant did so at the right time of the year.
Thorson rifles a base hit right over the head of Gorski at third. Leadoff man aboard here from Minooka in the bottom of the third inning.
Thorson called by his coach, Jeff Petrovic, the most intelligent player I've ever coached. He said he's another coach on the field, and he plays the game one pitch ahead, one at bat ahead, one out ahead. There's no doubt that is just that much more of an advantage to your infield when you have a shortstop captaining things like Thorson does for his team.
The third hit allowed by Jake Trumpus. Kind of at the plate. He was looking to get that ball to right field. It's been a very streaky Minooka team this year to get to this point. They started the season 2-3 and then won 6 straight games. But wait, they lost 5 of their next 6. Things not looking good. But immediately following that stretch, an 11-game winning streak, finished the season 2-5, and then win their way here to Joliet.
So strange, because you go that 11-game winning streak, you've got to be thinking, okay, we've turned the corner. And then you finish down the stretch like they did, albeit with some really good competition in those losses. You got to feel like maybe we've lost our edge.
Condon flew out to center field his first time up. Pretty big lead over at first base for Thorson. There he goes. Little hit and run action. Ball hit pretty well to right field. Helmick going back. He's going way back. That ball bounces up against the beach. Thorson had to hold momentarily to make sure that Helmick could not get it, but it will be a double by T.J. Condon. Condon nearly took this ball out in the short part of the park to double his 7th of the season.
Condon came in a 339 hitter to the turn, hit that ball with authority. He's trying to hit behind the runner on first and third, but at the same time put the bonus points on. He drove that ball over the right fielder's head. Helmick on the chase and the chase and the chase, but no contest as that ball got to the fence. Good base running with no one out by Thorson. He was making sure the ball was down. Even though he was running, he knew he wasn't going to score, so he pulls up at third base.
Chris Costa, the courtesy runner at second base for Condon, will bring up the cleanup hitter, Matt Brozovic. Corners will play in middle back. Brozovic, the big swing. Trumpus took something off it.
Talked about that stretch run the last games of the regular season. Minooka was defeated by Plainfield North 3 consecutive days, May 8, 9, and 10. Plainfield North was the #1 seed in their sectional. And Minooka was trying to catch them for the title of their conference, the Southwest Prairie. But indeed, Plainfield North ended up winning it, going away.
Brozovic high to left field. Noda will drift back and over to the line. That will allow Thorson to tag. He will score easily. Sacrifice fly. Matt Brozovic and a 1-0 Minooka lead.
Good piece of hitting by Brozovic. His job was to get it out of the infield there. He did just that, went with that pitch. Did not get all of it, but got enough to move Noda back where he could not get in any kind of throwing position. Thorson easily scores the first run of the game.
Costa stayed at second with 1 out. Carson Neuschwander up. He struck out to close out the first inning. So Minooka strikes first. They have the lead. They did not have the lead yesterday in their loss to Lions. Lions got a run in the first. Minooka got it right back in the second, but then Lions are running the second, 2 more in the third. It was a 4-1 game and never got caught up. 6-2 winners. Lions will be playing for their second consecutive state championship following this ball game. Looking to become the first team since the 1959 Maine Township Club went back-to-back. 3 balls and no strike. First base open. Neuschwander at the plate, be followed by Nick Fleschauer. Looking at ball 4 all the way. Third walk of the game by Jake Trumpus. He's had 1 in each inning. Minooka stranded 2 runners in the first, 2 in the second without scoring. They have a run in here in the third.
Trumpus had 15 walks coming in 42 innings. But he's really had difficulty with command. He's missed outside of the zone with 3 base on balls. He's missed in the zone a few times with some center cut fastballs that have been hit hard. 4 hits up on the board for Minooka. Grant has yet to reach base safely batting.
Nick Fleschauer singled to start last inning, but then was caught stealing in a great throw from the catcher, Simeon Lucas. Right over the top for the fastball at 76 miles per hour. Costa at second, Neuschwander at first. Off the end of the bat, Squibber. This will be a race to the bag. And it is won by the pitcher, Trumpus. The runners will advance. That was close.
Trumpus right there, better late than never. See a picture of him walking right into your screen. It's a pitcher's job anytime the ball's hit to the right side to immediately head up the first baseline, get a straight line, and then meet the throw as you're going up the first baseline. He was a little bit late getting started, but got there just in a nick of time to record the out on a kind of a strange 4-1 put out.
Joe Carnaggio at the plate. Once again, the Indians from Minooka would like to get a little bit more out of this inning than just the 1 run. They've already had 2 hits, including a double, sacrifice fly, and a walk. Carnaggio will walk last time up, hits this ball hard. Left fielder Noda goes back and makes the catch. I don't know how Ryan Noda got it. He stayed with it. A line drive catch. And his defensive play minimizes the damage.
He was getting that ball over his left shoulder. The ball continued to hook away from him. He had to turn his head in stride and find it over his opposite shoulder. What a great, great catch, which saves 2 runs.
1-0 Minooka after 3. It is Minooka 1, Grant 0. We will go to the top of the 4th inning. Grant will come to the plate, still looking for their first hit off of Kevin Ruff, who pitched a perfect game his last time out. So he's pitched at least 10 consecutive hitless innings here in the state tournament. Leading it off will be Tino Torres, number 2 hitter in Dave Beam's lineup.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. And yeah, we don't know what he did the last inning or 2 before that in the sectional, but pretty good stuff because he's not overpowered. He's not hitting 90, nothing like that. But I tell you what, there's not many balls that are squared up against him whatsoever.
Torres hit into a double play his last time up. And just as we say it, there's your base hit. So whatever string there was going, we know it's at least 10 innings, ended with that base hit by Torres. And that's the tying run at first base here in the top of the 4th inning. Minooka leading Grant 1-0. Jared Helmick struck out against Kevin Ruff his first time up. Helmick, though, a .374 batting average on the season. Ruff makes that throw from the pitcher's mound to first base almost with the exact same velocity he has from the mound to home plate.
Helmick going to walk on, played college baseball, but he preferred walk on, right? SIU?
Yep. Gets something off of that. Helmick looks at it. Grant has had a team this year with a lot of extra base hits. Neuschwander will come in. You see the sun gleaming off his sunglasses, but he stays with it for out number 1.
Yeah, as soon as the ball left the bat, we have the nice vantage point up here. We can tell if the outfielder's tracking the ball properly, and you knew that Neuschwander had that from the get-go. Got the glove up, and you can see the glass is taking effect and helping him. As outfielders are taught to check the sun and the wind each and every time they enter the field, every inning change.
Brent Spohr now with a .441 batting average, 6-foot junior. School record at bats in the season coming into this particular tournament, 118 at bats. The super sectional win over Schaumburg, that was a 7-0 shutout. Spohr 3 for 4 with a couple of RBIs. Torres getting a workout over there at first base. Down to his knees goes TJ Condon. Outfield playing Spohr straight away, but pretty deep. Hits this ball hard. That ball's ripped to left field. Second hit of the inning. And the Bulldogs have something going here with 1 out.
Spohr got a ball in the inner part, and he just got the barrel through. Opened up hips a little bit more, led up with the knob of the bat, and just rifled that ball right between Carnaggio and Thorson, the left side of the infield. And starts a little bit of rally opportunity for Grant, who's been quiet today. No points on the board yet, but trying to get involved on the scoreboard now.
Simeon Lucas just a couple ticks underneath 400 for a batting average coming in to the state finals. Grounded out to second his last time up. Waits, fouls it straight back.
See Simeon Lucas batting from the left side when he steps back into the box. Notice his left elbow is up quite a bit. Normally, coaches would teach that elbow to be down, be more relaxed, because you don't want any tension on the bat on anything pre-pitch. But in this case, if it works for him, he's a 400 hitter, you certainly don't want to change too much.
If you watch his back elbow when that swing starts, by the time he gets to the position where he's loaded up, it does come down a little bit.
And then you see we're getting a chance to watch him again. Great picture of the fine-looking softball. Watch the wiggle of the bat. Now the wiggle of the bat you're going to see right there is just a timing mechanism.
Up the middle and through. Base hit for Lucas. Torres being waved around. He'll score easily. We're tied at 1.
He indeed timed that one up. He took one at him and turned it right back around up the box. Stayed over the baseball well. Drove through the baseball. By the time he got to B-bar, the run that scored Torres was the first run of the game for Grant.
Ryan Mason, the courtesy runner. 3 of the 4 hitters this inning for Grant have reached by way of a hit. This game tied 1-1. Tyler Gorski. We said he had the game-winning RBI. That came against South Elgin, a 9-pitch at bat. He was down to his final out. Drove in 2 to win it. And he's going to get a base hit. Spohr will be held up at third as White attacks it quickly, and the Bulldogs from Grant have the bases loaded with 1 out.
We got Ruff, who had gone 10 consecutive innings at least without giving up a hit, and now he's given up 4 in this inning, and every one of them has been stroked with authority. Really seeing the baseball well right now. Fox Lake Grant hitters, one after the other.
Jacob Adams, the number 7 hitter for Dave Beam's club. Bounced out to the pitcher his last time up, has the bases loaded here with 1 out. Infield, middle infield playing, back corners just about even, maybe a step in front of the bag. Gorski at first, Mason at second, Spohr at third. Count evens at 1. Snake Eyes on the board, number 11 at bat. Ball 1, strike 1, 1 out. 1-1 your score. Squeeze coming. Ball is down. That's going to be a base hit. It could not have worked any better for Jacob Adams.
Great execution by Adams as he waited till the last possible second to put that ball down. Great execution by Spohr as he broke very late so as to not tip it off. Carnazio then came on a sprint. Ruff then came on a sprint, tried to negate or have a possible play at the plate, but no. He bunts the ball right between them, gets the RBI, gets the single, gets the bunt down. A whole bunch of good things happened on that play for Grant Bulldogs. The biggest thing was execution by everyone involved.
And they have taken that 2-1 lead on their 5th hit of the inning, 4th in succession. Boy, and just for a moment there, you thought that third base coach Brian Talbot might wave Ryan Mason around because the shortstop had run to second base. There was a wide open space, not many people around that ball, but with 1 out, base is still loaded for Eddie Kuziak. And might you think squeeze again here with your number 8 hitter. Now have that 1-run lead. Time called at home plate by Kuziak.
Kuziak, just a freshman. He is starting because of the injury to Villarreal. Good look at him right there.
Now Ruff with a little bit of flexibility ahead in the count. 0-2.
So I don't think Kuziak thought he'd be playing on Friday and Saturday, a week 10 days ago. But here he is, bases juiced, with a chance to put a charge into a big inning for the Bulldogs.
Off the end of the bat, this is trouble, and it's a fair ball. Mason will score. Everybody else had to hold up, and that ball may have kicked up some white paint down the line, and it's a 3-1 Grant lead.
That one was ugly but effective. You put the ball in play, you got a chance. But a freshman gets it done, Dave. I'm not sure, one, if the ball hit the white that you talked about, and two, I'm not sure if it hit green or brown. I don't know if it got out of the infield, but it's an RBI, it's a single, and it keeps the inning alive, which is turning out to be a good one for Grant. It has a chance to be a huge one.
Ryan Noda bounced out to first baseman his first time up. And once again, the bases loaded with 1 out. This inning started with a single, then a fly out. Since then, single to left, single to center, single to left, bunt single to short, bloop single to right. 3-1 Grant.
Not many times you see 6 hits in an inning. Not many times do you see 6 singles. Usually somebody's driven the ball to a gap down the line somewhere. But you talk about, they've hit some balls with authority. They found a squeeze bunt. They found a ball that barely hit the outfield grass.
Little check swing to the right side, looking for the force at home, and they'll get it. Second out of the inning. Now bring us to the top of the order. The 9th man to bat in this inning That's Jake Ring. Ring has walked and bounced out.
Jake Ring has scored 50 runs on the season. He's driven in 28 on the season. That's 78 runs accounted for. One more run yesterday, so 79 times he's either touched home plate or drove in somebody else to do just that. That is quite an offensive number.
He does it by way of a .447 batting average. Only one home run, so of those numbers you mentioned, only one of those would have overlapped the RBI and the run.
His dad, Mark Ring, played at Grant and holds numerous records. He owns those along with Mike Kozlowski, a Grant graduate who holds the other part of the hitting records, the head coach at the Air Force Academy now.
Grant High School located in Fox Lake, members of the North Suburban Conference. Up the middle and through. Adams scores. Kuziak scores. The inning for the Bulldogs continues. They've scored 5.
50 runs scored, 30 now driven in. On cue, he delivers. We had an 8-run inning earlier today. This is a 5-run inning and still alive.
Now Tino Torres will come to the plate once again for the second time in this inning. He started it all with the leadoff single. This has been a quick 5 runs on 7 hits. The 5-1 lead for Grant.
Well, Ring has a leadoff at first and third offense. Grant can play. You'll see his leadoff, but you won't see it for long because he'll be taking off somewhere very soon in the sequence.
Driven back on that pickoff toss by Ruff. Count 2-0. A lot of pitches thrown here by Ruff, facing his 10th batter of the inning. Now 2-1. Torres, a sophomore. Long look down to his third base coach, Brian Talbot. There goes Ring. Fouled away. Hear the sound effects in the background. The sound effects so familiar at any minor league stadium that you go to. This is the home of the Joliet Slammers. Once again, there goes Ring. Line drive, base hit. That scores another. 6 runs in the inning, and they're not done yet. Second hit of the inning by Torres.
Well, Ring was on the run, 2 consecutive pitches. That ball was just rifled right in front of him. It was fun to watch him go first to third. Torres 2 base hits in the inning. How about that? And Grant putting on a hitting clinic in inning number 4. Big old number 6 and counting on the board.
Baseball is not a kind game. It giveth and it taketh away. Kevin Ruff, a perfect game in the super sectional. He went 3 hitless innings in this one, and then all of a sudden the bottom fell out. 8 of the 10 batters who have come to the plate in this inning have hits. 6 runs are in. And also into the game is Steve Szymanski, 5'9" junior. He will pitch now for Minooka.
Take a look at Szymanski's numbers. He's a junior, 5'9", 155. This will be his 20th game, just an 0-1 record, so we would surmise that Szymanski has been a relief specialist for the Indians. 27 innings pitched in those 20 ball games, a 4.93 earned run average. He's given up 33 hits in 27 innings, 13 walks, 28 strikeouts, and his job is to try to stop the bleeding, because the cut in this inning has been a deep one administered by the Grant offense.
Mentioned earlier that in our championship game, that was Marion Catholic and LaSalle Peru. We had a tight ball game in that one. It was 1-1 as well before Marion Catholic exploded for 8 runs en route to a 10-2 victory for your 3A title. This was a 1-0 Minooka lead here heading into the top of this inning. Jared Helmick will come on to bat. He struck out and he flew out. Now Helmick trying to avoid a dubious distinction, and that would be to make 2 outs in this inning. He flew out his last time up. Once again, the Bulldogs playing first and third. I'll make the third place hitter. That pitch is called a strike.
Good take by Helmick. Didn't like the call. Not a pitch he wanted to work with, but all you can do is buckle it down and focus on the next pitch.
Get a piece of that one. They look down to first base and they say yes. They tag Helmick, and well, hang on now. We'll have a little bit of a conference here. Well, from our perspective, and we're high atop the field, it sounded like there had been a foul tip involved there. Our umpires will confer. Dan Marshall, home plate umpire, Bob Jenkins at first, and Bob Kopus at second. And they're going to say it was a foul ball, and I think that's the right call. Just the reaction of everybody and the sounds.
Very good umpiring by the crew right there. Dan Marshall makes the call, not sure of it, asked Bob Jenkins. Bob Jenkins was sure of it, but then they want to make sure they get it right because yes, I have a swing, but no, I don't have a foul ball, so the third guy gets involved. Bob Kopus at first, and then Bob Jenkins at third came in and said, yeah, I had a foul ball on that. So the 3 umpires working in unison to get the call correct.
Well, you saw Jeff Petrovic come out and talk to the home plate umpire, Dan Marshall, and Marshall referred him to the third base umpire, Bob Kopus. Petrovic not getting the answer that he wanted. He doesn't see a number on the scoreboard he likes either. That's a 6-run spot here in the top of the 4th inning. So Helmick gets some new life. Count still 0-2 on him. Szymanski delivers. Fly ball right field line. Going a long ways is Neuschwander, and then lands foul. Make a correction on those umpires. Bob Jenkins at third base umpire, Bob Kopus at first. So the conversation was with Jenkins, third base umpire. There goes a runner on 0-2. Tapper up the middle, takes the shortstop Thorson right to the ball. And he'll throw out Helmick at first. So Jared Helmick makes 2 of the 3 outs here in the 4th inning. But beyond that, Grant scores 6 times on 8 hits. They did not have a hit before this inning, but they will go to the bottom of the 4th, leading by 5. 6 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for Grant, 1 run, 4 hits, and no errors for Minooka. Minooka, the home team on the scoreboard, they get last cracks, but they need some big cracks right here to counteract the 8 singles and 6 runs that Grant scored in the top half of the inning.
Austin Paulson.
Austin Paulson to start things here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Minooka scored a run in the bottom of the 3rd. Jake Trumpus, man on the mound for Grant, beneficiaries of 6 in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, they put that run up on the board, and then you think, okay, Kevin Ruff's on the bump. You know, you're in good shape. Gets a first base hit, and then the barrage came in. It's right in the window.
Oh, a little bit low. I'm not going to dive out the window. If you'd have grabbed my ankles, I think I could have had that one. You know, we look back to that 3rd inning. Remember that catch that was made by the left fielder Ryan Noda? Very difficult catch. That came with 2 runners on in scoring position. Had he not made that catch, this ball's hit the center field. Giving chase is Jake Ring to make the grab. Had Noda not made that catch, 2 more runs score, and that inning continues. And the game has a whole different perspective to it. That brings us to Nick White. White is singled, one of the 4 hits the Indians have today.
It's amazing how a 6-run inning, an 8-run inning we had earlier, a 2-run inning, 1 play, 1 pitch, 1 call can change the complexion of a whole inning, which can change the complexion of a whole game, which, you know, in the big picture can change the complexion of a championship.
Speaking of championships, coming up next, Oak Park River Forest, Lyons Township. A lot of storylines in that one. 2 members of the same conference, the West Suburban Silver. Neither one of them won the regular season conference title. And the other part of it, well, Lyons Township, winners of the state championship last year over Providence, a chance to go back-to-back. Line drive snagged by Gorski at third base. Gorski lays out.
We have had numerous outstanding plays in this tournament. We've had numerous cue 'em up highlight kind of plays. Gorski adds to the list right there. Great shot of him as he just got off the sound of the bat and just dove fully out to take away a double.
We'll bring up Alex Bebar with 2 outs. Bebar a walk. And a foul out to Gorski at third base. You're saying in the championship game, Lions looking to go back-to-back for the state championship. If they did, it would be the first time since 1958 and 59 when Maine Township did that. We were talking yesterday, that's before Maine East, Maine West, Maine South. It was just Maine. Al Karsten's the head coach. So 2 conference rivals to meet up. You'll catch that right here on IHSA.tv.
But Coach Carson's then leave Maine. Was he then went to Downers after that? Is that the same Coach Carson's? It's got to be.
Got me there.
Yeah, that's interesting. There's been an awful lot of legendary coaches in the annals of IHSA history in all sports.
2-2 on Bebar. Get a little bit of help tracking that ball down, sitting right on the right field line. Bebar's ready to hit. Our home plate umpire is ready to hit the pitch go, and then all of a sudden the first baseman, Brent Spore, says, you maybe think I should pick up this ball? Spore gets back, gets ready. Jake Trumpus, pitcher's ready. Good pitch by Trumpus, missed just a bit outside. Bebar with 2 outs here in the 4th. And he'll draw the 2-out walk. And so Trumpus continues his pattern, 1 walk per inning through each of the first 4 innings here.
Bebar draws his 2nd Every time he goes up there, it seems it's just a quality at bat. Gets deep into pitch counts, makes the defense shift, makes the pitcher earn things.
Tyler Thorson singled and scored. It's the only run Minooka has. That came last inning. .59 senior. Not that Simeon Lucas, the catcher for Grant, would make the difference anyway, but the running game is curtailed here from Minooka, trailing by 5 in the middle innings.
How about Joliet Junior College? They're going to get Condon, Thorson, Fleischhauer, and Bebar, all from this Minooka team. And those guys will all make an impact, no doubt.
Joliet Junior College, national champions this year. Won the title a little over a week ago. Maybe a bit more than that. The junior college ranks, you have to keep replenishing the store. Wayne King, the head coach there, longtime head coach.
You got to stock the shelves with some quality with those 4 names we just mentioned of Jeff Petrovic's squad.
Count goes to 3-1 on Thorson. Beyond the right field wall, we see the mini buses for Oak Park River Forest. Huskies be playing right here on this field once this third place game is completed. Thorson rips, foul, look out there on the hill. Go get it, come on. Curving around on you, coming back to you. Nice play.
See, he started sprinting thinking that you were chasing him. But once he turned around and you weren't in the picture, things slowed to a crawl.
We are all over. Thorson's going to get himself a base hit to left field. His second hit of the game. And after 2 outs, a walk and a single puts 2 aboard for Minooka, who's left 2 runners on base in each of the first 3 innings. TJ Condon will get an opportunity here to hack a run or 2 off of this 5-run lead for Grant, but Dave Beam will take a slow walk, and now he'll pick it up to a jog a little bit as he'll head out to the mound to talk to his right-hander, Jake Trumpus.
Condon has 26 RBIs, 3 home runs on the year. So he gets a ball up with a jet stream. He can turn this back into a ball game with 1 swing of the bat. Yes, indeed, he does have that kind of power. You see the powwow on the mound. The Bulldogs had a lot of bark in him in that 6-run inning. No doubt about that. They were quiet, but then all of a sudden it was ring, ring, ring to the tune of 8 singles.
Mentioned Ring, Jake Ring, 2-run single for Grant. He knocked in 2 of those 6. Trumpus took a little bit too long for Condon.
This game flew for 3 innings, and since then it's gone snail's pace.
A lot of base runners. In fact, 9 base runners in the top half of the inning for Grant. 2 more here in the bottom. There's just something about you put a runner on, the pitcher's whole pace slows down when he works from the stretch. Condon is nicked on the elbow, and that will load the bases. Nothing was happening, a fly out, a line out on a great play by Gorski. That's how this inning started, but then since then a walk, a single, and a hit batter. Chris Costa once again to come on to run for Condon at first base. So Brozovic, who's driven in the only run of the game for Minooka with a sacrifice fly, gets an opportunity with the sacks filled and 2 outs here in the 4th. The hit would be big for the Indians here.
Brozovic has left the yard twice this season for the Indians, and He's got the short beach in right field.
Two balls, no strikes. Rosevich can dial it up right here.
Trumpus was cruising, and all of a sudden, he is from a cruise to a labor.
Rosevich had the pitch he wanted, but lifts it high in the air. Who wants it? Left fielder. Noda comes in right through the backside of Kuziak and makes the catch. So Minooka, through 4 innings, have left 9 men on base, 3 here in the 4th. The top of the inning belonged to Grant. They picked up all 6 of their runs, and that's good enough for the 5-run lead. We've played 4 here in your Class 4A third place game. The Bulldogs 6-1. Steve Szymanski works from a stretch with nobody on here to start the 5th inning for Minooka. He came on in relief, got a ground out to put an end to that 6-run inning, and he will face cleanup hitter in the lineup, Brent Spohr, singled and scored last inning. Szymanski, the 155-pound junior. Earned run average of 4.93. Bent that one just enough to keep it away from the big part of the bat of Spohr.
You could just hit the play button. Single and scored last inning. Single and scored last inning. Single and scored last inning. Because they did to the tune of 8. It's 8 hits, 6 scored.
Well out of play. Bounds over the concourse, denying a couple of young fellas a chance for a souvenir. This is a spinner out to the second baseman, Fleischauer. One down to Simeon Lucas. Back of Nick Fleischauer, the 5'11 senior for Jeff Petrovic's club.
Bulldog catcher, Simeon Lucas.
See, Lucas, we've talked about it, only a sophomore. What a well-defined he is. You can tell that he has met some metal in the weight room many times in his life already. Got some guns.
Hard on the ground to Brozovic. 2 outs. You've talked about in the course of the last 2 weekends of the tournaments, the 1A, 2A, and then 3A tournament, now in 4, of several relief pitchers that warm up in the bullpen. They warm up from the full windup and come in with runners on base. They have to pitch from the stretch. This young man right here, Steve Szymanski, takes it on the other end.
Well, you know, and I'm buying into that with him. 19 games. This is his 20th and 0-1 record, and only 27 innings pitched. So he is a relief pitcher, and he keeps himself in the stretch because of that. So that is his comfort zone, and his mechanics then are consistent all the time. Smart move by Szymanski.
Tyler Gorski made a great play. He's made actually 2 great plays today, catching a foul ball. Low hit foul ball right in front of the Minooka dugout as he slammed into the rail. Also made a diving catch on a line drive last inning. He is 1 for 1 today, a walk and a single. And a 4-pitch walk with 2 outs.
Gorski took that walk, flipped his bat, and he came very close to clipping Jacob Adams in the on-deck circle. That's his teammate.
And Adams gave him a look. He said, dude.
What did I do? We're up by 5. Come on.
Grant looking for their 26th win of the year to go along with 12 losses. Minooka, 27 wins, 14 defeats. 5 straight balls thrown by Szymanski. Jacob Adams had that bunt single with the bases loaded. It was designed just to be simple squeeze to get a run in, which would have been a big run at the time. Instead, with everybody crashing and moving, he's able to push it past the pitcher and third baseman. Got himself an infield hit out of it. Right now, Steve Szymanski is charged with the hold 'em. You hold 'em, we get 3 more innings to work with. Conversation with Adams, third base coach Brian Talbot, the assistant coach coaching third. We talked earlier about how Dave Beam, the head coach for Grant, coaches first base. That's a long conversation. Oh, you speculate when the conversations last that long.
Well, 2-1, 2 outs. I mean, the only baseball play you might have in order is a stolen base opportunity on 2-1 count with 2 outs, but the batter really doesn't need to know that.
Larson to Fleschauer, and that will close out the inning. Nothing doing here for Grant in the top of the 5th inning, but we will head to the bottom. The Indians some catching up to do. They trail by 5. You recognize number 15. You just usually see him with catcher's gear on. Simeon Lucas moves from behind the plate. He will do the pitching. Tino Torres will go from his designated hitter role into the catching spot. So Simeon Lucas, your pitcher here in the bottom of the 5th.
Honestly, I'm glad to see him. Kind of anxious to see how the young man has himself out on the hill. He's a 2-2 record, 35 and 3rd innings pitched, 1.78 earned run average. Coach Beam said we want to get him on the hill, but he's too good a catcher to get him on the hill consistently. Nice problem to have. Behind the plate, you got a stallion. You move the stallion behind the plate, and you put the horse out on the hill.
Carson Neuschwander to lead it off for the Minooka Indians. That it is a good problem to have, but it is a dilemma because the 2 players that throw the ball the most are your pitcher and catcher. So let's say you pitch on a Tuesday and you're going to catch on a Wednesday. I don't know about that. But Neuschwander greets Lucas with a good solid hit to right center.
Yeah, you would think if he's going to be one of your starters next year, which when you have those kind of abilities, you almost are forced to use him. You have to be very careful when, how, try to maybe use him on a weekend, have a Sunday off and maybe, but one way or the other, you have to get his abilities out on the hill when he's not behind the dish.
Curveball to Nick Fleschauer, who was singled and bounced out. Minooka has left 2 runners on in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd. The bases loaded in the 4th inning. Line drive, unable to handle it, second baseman Adams. He'll get the force, and that's it. Good base running by Neuschwander. He froze, and had Adams caught that ball cleanly, Neuschwander would have easily gone back. So either way, you have 1 out and a man on first.
And Adams did a good job knocking that ball down, the 2nd consecutive hit. It was squared up against Lucas. Neuschwander did so to lead off the inning. Fleschauer right there hit that ball right on the screws.
Pinch runner down at first base, Nick Bell, a 5'9" junior.
Next up, third baseman, Joe Carnaggio.
We'll bring up Joe Carnaggio. A walk and a line out to left. Carnaggio, third baseman for the Indians. Ball underneath at the feet of Torres, picks it up, throws, and he gets his man. Nick Bell had seen the ball down in the dirt. He took off for second. Torres found it. And Bell is thrown out at second.
You know, you thought Torres was going to run into a little bit of trouble when he went down with his glove rather than his bare hand. But he got it cleanly out of his glove and then threw a rifle shot to second base. Bang, bang play goes the way of the Bulldogs. Coach Petrovic gets the explanation from Bob Jenkins and walks back away with a great deal of character, integrity, class that he indeed exhibits as a coach mentoring young men.
Lucas right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Carnaggio. Inning started with a leadoff single, a force at second. And in effect, caught stealing at second. Carnaggio foul back into the screen.
I think a lot of times we forget perspective of high school baseball. You know, if you're managing the Yankees, the White Sox, what have you, your job flat out is to win. If your job is coaching Minooka High School, Grant High School, your first responsibility is to teach character, integrity, class, all those things to your young men, you know, and model that for them. From that, all the other good things will indeed happen if the talent level is there.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Carnaggio. And Lucas gets him swinging. So what began as a promising start to this inning closes on a strikeout. 5 in the books here in the third place game. Class 4A, Grant parlaying that 6-run inning to a 5-run lead. This is the 3rd appearance for Minooka High School in the state finals. They came here in 1962, lost their first game under head coach Norm Miller. Then in 2006, Class AA, Minooka finished 3rd in that particular tournament. And here they're going to have to fight and scrap to match that 3rd place trophy. So we go to the top of the 6th inning, and shortstop Eddie Kuziak leading it off for Grant.
You can tell we're getting the late innings of this game because we've been handed lineups to the championship game. So we're closing down on a 3rd place trophy and revving up to the championship game. The lineups are in. That means both teams are here in the yard and ready to get after it as soon as we're done here with this ball game and trophy presentations.
Oak Park River Forest and Lyons Township. Either of our teams here in this 3rd place contest have won a state championship. Both of those teams and our 4A title already have first place trophies in their cases back in their respective schools. Kuziak rung up on strikes. Steve Szymanski's come out and done a pretty good job. Only walked 1 man.
Been around the zone, moved the ball around the zone, moved some hitters' eyes, and kept the ball down for the most part.
The interesting thing to note as Ryan Noda steps in is out of the 8 teams that came to Joliet this weekend, only 2 had already won state championships, and they are playing the state title in 4A here tonight. Marion Catholic won Class 3A, first time they've ever been to the finals. Doesn't get much better than winning the first place trophy. That's what they did, a 10-2 win over LaSalle Peru.
Storybook.
They join Effingham St. Anthony and Normal U High as winners of our state baseball championships this season. Noda takes all the way on 3-0. Chop foul, one-handed snag by Beam, first base, and his arms folded, just flicks the right arm up, got it.
Check this out, the very first state championship.
Ball hit to left field, White gives ground, and it's going to go for extra bases. Noda on the move, takes the turnaround second, and he will have himself a 1-out double.
He drove that ball. Again, that one got up on the jet stream. Noda got all of it. On the chase was White, but to no avail. That ball got up in the air, and Grant threatening once again.
Talked about Dave Beam in his third year. This is his first winning season. 12-17-1. His first year last year, the Bulldogs 10-21.
Quite the turnaround it certainly was.
Jake Ring here at the top of the order, a 2-run single in the fourth.
Looking back, the very first state championship was in 1940, so 72 years ago. Belleville Township won the state championship.
Advancing to third will be Noda.
Champaign was runner-up. Champaign was coached by Harry Coombs.
Really?
How about that? From Champaign, so that's got to be the Harry Coombs from the Illini.
Yeah.
You know, he's already in town as a high school coach. How about that?
Minooka has pulled their infield in, way in, especially second baseman Nick Fleschauer. Ring, a tough man to pull the infield in. You have somebody hitting 447, you know it's a hard 447. That should be enough. To White, left field, tagging Noda. He will score without a play. 7-1, Grant. Third RBI of the game for Ring.
He's usually the one scoring runs. Today he's driving in runs. Inside out, that ball went with it well enough to get it deep enough into left field to easily score. Noda, who had double went to third on the wild pitch, and then scores on a sac fly. Run manufactured by Grant.
Torres up with nobody on base. Tino Torres now the catcher for the Bulldogs. Big swing from Torres. Waits and fouls it out of play.
He's another good-looking young hitter. They are going to be stockpiled. And how, man, you can't do anything but talk about the experience this is giving them already. I mean, all these young guys have already played in state semifinals and state medals after they leave today. And boy, that will really, really increase your enthusiasm for your off-season strength training and such.
To center field in B-Bar. Closes out the inning, but another run crosses the plate for Grant. A run on one hit. It was a double by Noda. He scores in a sacrifice fly by Ring. We go to the bottom of the sixth. It's 7-1 Bulldogs. Hello, fellas. Welcome to Joliet. Those guys, of course, hope that they will be here in a few years. But you always hear stories, don't you, Mark, every year? You know, I was at the state tournament 2005, and now I'm back here as a player, and it was special then. It's even better now.
Yeah, no doubt that young people, you know, high school age athletes, I don't think they remember how much elementary age and junior high school age kids look up to them. And, you know, as an athlete, you automatically become a role model. So those kids want to be just like these kids someday.
Here in the bottom of the sixth inning will be Austin Paulson, Nick White, and Alex Bebar from the Minooka Indians, 8-9-1 in their order against the all-sophomore battery of Simeon Lucas and Tino Torres.
Yeah, they'll hook up a few times the next two seasons. They'll get to know each other's nuances, inside out, up and down.
Paulson was hoping for a walk, not to be. Simeon
Lucas has a great presence on the mound.
this case, he will walk the leadoff batter. Paulson will leave for a pinch runner as Jeff Petrovic to get a few more people into the ball game. He will send Mark Fox.
He's running at first base, Mark Fox.
Fox running at first.
Batter, left fielder, Nick White.
Nick White is single and hit a screaming line drive to third that third baseman Tyler Gorski laid out, diving towards the line and made the grab.
Lions nor Oak Park crowds here yet, but I guarantee you they're going to turn out. When the showtime lights go on, there'll be people here.
Hop up, a chance to drop, and it does. That was right off the knuckles of Nick White. But the Indians have runners on first and second.
So you mentioned his line drive, and all he gets is an out. Then he hits the ball about as much off the hands as he can, just gets it over Jacob Adams' head, and lands on the like a wedge on a green, and he gets a base knock out of that one.
To the top of the order, and Alex Bebar. You know what's funny is, and we've all done it, Nick White will, maybe tomorrow grouse about that one play he was robbed on.
Yeah.
I was robbed. That could have been 2 for 2.
I'll take that one step further after this pitch. You ever heard coaches that say, yeah, we won, we could have won that one, we could have won that one. You know, if we lost that one-run game or we dropped that one fly ball on the sun, they forget that they maybe won a game on an error, they won another game on a drop third strike, won another game on umpire's call, but we always lament the ones that got away, the pitch that got away.
Bevar was looking to do some damage on that last offering from Lucas. Jake Trumpus went 4 innings today, gave up 5 hits, but just 1 run for the Bulldogs.
I think Lucas, again, I really like him out there. I think he's trying to do a little bit too much right now.
Hit softly to Adams. To Kuziak for 1, and they ring it up. Nice turn by Eddie Kuziak.
He just showed off a rifle coming across the base. Adams delivers the ball to him with perfect timing. And then Kuziak just comes across and throws a seed across the diamond. Spoor with the stretch, Bob Kopus with a call, and Grant with a double play.
We've seen our share of double plays in this tournament just today, actually.
Yeah, today there's been a bunch of them. They've been entertaining for the most part. We've seen some routine, we've seen some bang bangs, we've seen some spectacular.
Tyler Thorson has scored the only run of the game for Minooka. He has 2 of the Indians' 7 hits. Grant has out-hit Minooka 9-7. And of those 9 hits, 8 of them came in 1 inning. That was the 4th inning. 11 men came to the plate, 6 scored.
There's no explanation for 8 hits in an inning and 1 hit the rest of the ball game. There just is not. Momentum, what have you. It's just, again, it's a part of baseball that's hard to explain.
Torres smothers that one at home plate.
We were watching a ball game on the television the other night. My wife saw a great curveball, honestly, that just froze guys. She said, well, why does he throw it like that every pitch? And I said, well, he tries to. It's like why don't he hit the ball, the drive down the middle every time, 250? Or why did he throw a perfect pass by Jay Cutler every time? What? If it was that easy, huh?
Second walk of the inning by Lucas will bring up T.J. Condon.
Indians catcher, T.J. Condon.
First and third for Condon. He doubled back in the third inning. He's also been hit by a pitch and flew out to center. Tino Torres looked to the dugout to see what his coach wants to do here on first and third, and there you see his signs. Two outs with a 6-run lead. Prior to the game, when the lineups were being introduced and the players run out onto the field, when Minooka's starting lineup was introduced, if you were a senior, you got a hug from Jeff Petrovic. If you were an underclassman, you got a fist bump. Your hug will be coming next year. Petrovic's so proud of these Minooka players, how hard they've worked all year. We've talked about some of the tough times they went through and how they battled back and got themselves here to Joliet. Just a short trip, very short trip from Minooka. But it's the state finals. Condon goes to right field, and Neuschwander, he's having some trouble, and he makes the catch right at the corner of the beach, looking up into the sun. Make that Helmick out there in right field for Grant. Neuschwander, the right fielder from Minooka. It's Helmick who contributes to the offensive defense. 2 runners left on base, 11 for the game for Minooka. They trail by 6 as we go to the 7th. You are looking at Lyons Township, the defending state Class 4A baseball champions. They are getting set to go back-to-back, trying to go back-to-back. First time Large School went back-to-back. That was 1958-59. That's the last time it's happened. Lions looking to be the first one to do that since then. But standing in their way will be fellow conference foe, Oak Park River Forest. That ball game coming your way next. Start the 7th inning. Leading it off will be Jared Helmick. He made that catch in right field to close out that last inning. So good catches in left field and right field. A line drive grab by your third baseman. Double plays up the middle. And an excellent defensive effort today for Grant. They do have the only error in this ball game, however. There's a jam shot. Third baseman Canarcio charges. Nice play.
Yeah, I think for the most part this weekend, as we're getting ready to finish up game number 7, we've seen some pretty stellar defense. Yes, there's been some errors. Yes, errors will happen at any level, and they'll happen in high school baseball. But we have seen some outstanding throws from the outfield, some outstanding catches in the outfield. We've seen very solid infield play on hard hit balls, on run-through plays. We've seen catchers throw out base runners. First basemen have been superlative. A lot of leather being thrown here in Joliet this weekend.
Brent Spohr factored into that 6-run inning in the 4th for Grant. The single and a run scored in that inning for the hard-hitting cleanup hitter. To Thorson at short. 2 outs.
Boy, if you want to emulate somebody, Thorson's so smooth with his hands. As that ball was bounding to him, he was already squaring off his back foot to throw, doing everything simultaneously. All one motion, just smooth as silk. Fielding that shortstop position is Thorson.
Simeon Lucas, 1 for 3 in this third place game. Drove in a run, scored a run. Technically, it was his courtesy runner. It was Ryan Mason that scored the run, but it came in his spot in the order.
Threw out a would-be base stealer, has pitched. Anything else he hasn't done in the ballgame today for being a sophomore?
I'm thinking about covers.
Came out on a bunt out in front of the plate. Made a great play from the catcher's position.
Steve Szymanski on the mound for Minooka. He's done a nice job. He's only allowed 1 hit in 2 innings, given up 1 run. Walked 1, struck out 1. Lucas to left field, and White. And that is a 1-2-3 inning. Only the second time that's happened today for Grant. They are 3 outs away from getting a third place trophy here in their first appearance in the state baseball finals. Last chance for Minooka, they trail it 7-1. Into the Grant Bulldog dugout. Those folks there just kind of counting it down. They need 3 outs. They were trailing early in this game, 1-0, after 3 innings, before exploding for 8 hits and 6 runs in that 4th inning. Max Brozovic will start things off here for Minooka. He'll need to get things going in a big way for the Indians. Brozovic today has a sacrifice fly. He's also reached on a fielder's choice and flown out to left.
Sounds so strange, but Class 3A and 4A baseball finishing up this weekend in Joliet and everywhere. Baseball will start up again on Monday. Summer baseball, summer camps, summer leagues.
It's always an interesting first day, isn't it? And all of a sudden you have a different set of faces. The sophomores, possibly freshmen that come up, the juniors who may have been the fellas that were leaning on that dugout rail at this point. Now all of a sudden they become your starters just a couple days later.
And it becomes, for the underclassmen that move up a notch, it becomes your team. It becomes your leadership. It becomes your experience to mentor others.
Snagged out of midair by Eddie Kuziak. Boy, you could just see Kuziak waiting, and then jumped up.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe that. He didn't get off the baseball on purpose. He knew the ball was coming to him. He read the flight of it, and he had to wait till the last second, and he caught that up in the web at the apex, the top of his leap. Great catch. Take away a base hit.
Lucas wants a new ball after that first pitch to Neuschwander. Strikeout, walk, and a single for Neuschwander. As we said, the Indians left 11 batters on through 6 innings. The only inning they did not leave anybody on was in the 5th. In that inning, they had a couple of base runners. One was wiped out in a steal, another on a fielder's choice. Left 2 on in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd. They had a 1-0 lead at that point. And then when they tried to come back in the 4th inning, they left the bases loaded. Saw those dark shadows in the face of Simeon Lucas on the mound. He is right now, his spot on the mound is right where the light standards are at, and he just happens to be in one of the banks of lights. There he is. You know, and for Lucas, that's an interesting look for him too, because he starts with his motion in the shade, and as he delivers forward, his face comes into the sun. And a walk for Neuschwander with 1 out.
Yeah, we see the shadows oftentimes in ball yards across the country, depending on time of day. You know, with the shadows between home plate and the pitcher's mound. This one, with the light tower coming into play, is basically encircled the pitcher Lucas.
Nick Fleischauer, a single today. Concourse, a very busy place right now. That's where the Oak Park River Forest fans, along with Lyons Township, players on each of these teams, that's where they're hanging out. They will await Minooka and Grant fans to vacate the seats, and they'll jump on in. That ball's rifled over the head of Gorski. Second hit of the day for Fleischauer. Advancing to second is Neuschwander.
That ball was hit like a rocket. Man, he got his hands through the zone that time, and he just drove the ball by Gorski. It looked for a silly second like Gorski was going to make the same kind of catch that Kuziak did earlier in this inning for the first out.
They're your base runners for the Minooka Indians.
Indians third baseman Joe
Carnaggio a chance to step to the plate now, and try to do some damage. One out in the inning. Two balls and no strikes now to Carnaggio as Minooka looking to rally here from this 6-run deficit. Grant has only out-hit the Indians by 1, 9-8. Carnaggio looks at a strike. Austin Paulson waits on deck.
Tino Torres looking in the dugout for signs. I think they're going to go for the most part fastballs. They'll mix one every once in a while just to keep things honest.
You know, I look up at the scoreboard and I think of the 3A championship ball game. It was an 8-run inning for Marion Catholic. They ended up winning the game by 8, 10-2 score. Here in the 4th inning in this ball game, a 6-run inning for Grant, and right now they lead it by 6.
But you know, defensively, pitching-wise, if you can stay out of a big inning, you got a chance. But when big innings happen, it's usually to the demise of a defense.
Lucas comes right on back to get Carnaggio.
Got some gas on that one upstairs above the hands, and Carnaggio just couldn't catch up with the high heat.
Now it's up to Austin Paulson to try to keep this game going.
Designated hitter, Austin Paulson.
Grant fans that have made their way from Fox Lake come to their feet. Fastball underneath the hands at 81 miles per hour. Count evens and a ball and a strike. Couple of teams here that like to see Simeon Lucas finish this off so they can get themselves down to field. Lions and Oak Park River Forest.
Yeah, they got them adrenaline going right now.
They may get a chance here. Kuziak all the way across, and Grant will pick up the 3rd place trophy in Class 4A. 7-1 winners over the Minooka Indians. A big 6-run 4th inning, the difference.
Well, you know, Minooka got a 1-0 lead. Grant took advantage of 8 singles in that big 6-run 4th inning. Enough pitching getting the job done. Pretty good defense by both teams, but the big inning was the difference in this 3rd place ball game. So Grant makes a statement here today. Minooka did all year long as well. Both teams outstanding postseason runs to take home hardware.
Grant 7 runs, 9 hits and 1 error. Minooka 1 run, 8 hits and no errors. The 3rd place goes to Grant. Minooka will bring home the 4th place trophy, but we still have to award 2 big ones. Our 4A state championship game comes up next as Oak Park River Forest claim their 2nd state championship in school history. Does Lyon Township go back-to-back in state championships? We'll find out next. Stay right there on IHSA.TV. 4A championship coming up. Once again, the final score here in your 3rd place game. Grant 7, Minooka 1. For our entire IHSA.TV crew and for my partner, Mark Lindo, I'm Dave Bernhardt. Stick around for a title game coming up.